Welcome to Two Wheels, and on this week's show we'll be waving goodbye to the Starboys as they leave the UK and head off back home to the good old US of A. And we'll have the conclusion of day 3 of our Moroccan tour as the riders go for a play in the dunes against the spectacular backdrop of a Moroccan sunset. But first, here's well-respected motorcycle journalist Chris Moss to give us his opinion on the current scooter market.
Scooters, never been more popular than they are at the moment in the UK. And for good reason. They're smart, they're stylish, they're economical, they're practical, and above all, they are just so easy to use. There are literally hundreds of them on the market to choose from. They come in all different shapes and sizes and colours, of course. And because there's a range of engine sizes to choose from, you can decide just how much economy or just how much performance you want. Scooter fan now. I'm running around on a Honda Silverwing, a 600cc twin-cylinder bike that can do over 100 miles an hour. Well, that's quite an expensive and powerful machine. Those of you new to the market might want to look at something else, and here we have 4 examples of what's currently available, so you can make a choice and decide just what's right for you. First off, we've got Piaggio's Vespa ET2. This classically styled scooter has a 50cc 2-stroke single-cylinder engine with a top speed of 30 miles per hour. It'll cost you £1,599 on the road. Next, we've got Gilera's SP50 Runner, which is a Poggiali replica. It boasts a 50cc 2-stroke single-cylinder engine with a top speed of 30 miles per hour. It'll cost you £1,949 on the road. Next off, we've got Piaggio's B125. This very funky styled scooter has a 125cc 4-stroke single-cylinder engine. It'll take it to around 60 miles per hour, and it'll cost you £2,499 on the road. And finally, we've got Gilera's brand new VXR 200 Runner. It's got a 200cc 4-stroke single-cylinder engine. That'll take it to a top speed of around 75 miles per hour, and it'll cost you £2,649 on the road. The most distinctive feature about the Vespa ET2 is its style. It takes you back to the days when the mods made scooters famous, down on the beaches at Brighton and Blackpool. It's got those traditional classic lines that have made the scooter so famous. Fortunately, though the style apes back to a period long ago, modern bits and pieces bring it bang up to date. It's got a digital clock, a fuel gauge, nice rack to put a bit of luggage on the back, very large comfy seat. This is a very easy scooter to get the best from. Now, despite its great looks, one thing that really puts me off, at least with this scooter, is the fact that it's restricted to 30 miles per hour. That makes life pretty difficult once you get out of town. A great shame, but that's what the licensing laws say these days. Nevertheless, in the urban area, you can take full advantage of its agile and flickable handling, and the brakes are pretty good too. Quite a bit of under-seat storage, nice rack as we said earlier, kickstart for traditionalists. Yeah, all in all, pretty good effort, 7 out of 10 I reckon. As far as style and equipment's concerned, I think the Gilera SP50 Runner Poggiali Rep is one of the best here. What a beautiful scooter. Look at its style overall, very racy. Look at the trick bits like the upside down forks, the twin disc brakes, the carbon dashboard. It all makes it look like a high performance scooter. Now, unfortunately, it's got more modest performance than its looks suggest it might have, and it's restricted to 30 miles per hour. In town, that's fine, and allied to the agile and very swift handling, it makes it a great runabout in the urban environment. Just a bit uncomfortable outside town on things like dual carriageways and motorways, where the 30 mile per hour speed restriction just makes it a little bit awkward. Overall, though, I'd still probably rate it pretty highly for a bike of this type, and I'd give this a 7. Okay, we've got Piaggio's B125 here. I have to admit straight away to having a bit of a soft spot for this one. Love the style, love the fact that it's very comfortable and very much like the handling. As far as the style's concerned, quite alternative, a lot of trick bits on it, nice instrumentation. The comfort is aided by the fact that the weather protection up front is very good, courtesy of the wide fairing and footboards. Look at that seat, a belter. Just the job to take a pillion on and take them for quite a way as well. But I think it's the handling really that makes this bike, this scooter rather, so different to the rest. The reason I was prompted to say bike there is because that's what it feels like. Very conventional feel, something you can trust, and that's thanks to its 16-inch wheels, which give it a much more stable and trustworthy feel. It's the bike that I enjoyed riding the most, and I think on that basis I'd like to give it a 9. Fans of performance will probably give the Gilera Runner 200 the best vote. It's got a great engine. The 200cc single-cylinder 4-stroke whizzes this thing up to 75 miles per hour quite comfortably. And because it can attain such a high speed and maintain it, it can sit very comfortably on roads even as big as motorways. It's got a lot of long-distance potential. That's aided by the comfort as well. That screen in particular makes life a lot easier at high speed, and it's a feature that isn't included on any other bikes. Its styling's a little bit on the bland side in that colour, but it's still pretty acceptable. Very much like the handling. Slight reservations about the softness of the suspension occasionally when pushing on very hard, but more than acceptable. And the brakes too deserve a nod. Those twin discs work really quite well. Overall, I think in view of its versatility, thanks to that large capacity engine, I'd probably give this one an 8.
During the past few weeks, I've enjoyed the very lively company of America's top motorcycle stunt team, the Starboys, seen performing here at the Scottish Bike Show in the rain, something they're probably not used to coming from the good old US of A. We've even put them through a CBT, and I'm not quite sure the examiner knew exactly what he'd let himself in for. It seems that everything they do, including go-karting, they do to absolute excess. You don't treat the bikes gently that you ride, so I mean, how long does a bike last with the Starboys? How many bikes have you got for a start?
I have 3 900s, 3 Fireblades in the garage, and I got a F2. I got a whole fleet of bikes, 4-wheelers. You open my garage up and everything just falls onto you. So yeah, I like to.
But you trash them a bit,
yeah,
don't you?
It's kind of like the Who. You know, after the concert, they just beat their stuff up, you know, so or Jimi Hendrix snapping a guitar in half or something like that. So that's kind of like, we just like to disrespect the bikes, and it's just something else that people are just like, what the hell's wrong with those guys, you know?
Because I know people over here have been very reluctant to lend you bikes because of this.
Right, everybody's like, usually, you know, polishing their bikes and this and that, and we don't care. We just kick them over, throw them down, take the kickstands off them, just set them on the ground. People are just like, wow. So it's just kind of like part of our style.
That's why I didn't come on my bike today.
Yeah, no, everybody's like, can I borrow? Oh, no thanks.
So how long does a bike last then with you?
I try to cycle them out about every 2 years. It's just a matter.
That's longer than I thought. I thought you were going to say 2 weeks.
Well, we got a couple. We got a couple. If it was probably the same bike I rode through the whole season, it'd probably be about 1 season. But the bikes actually start after all the abuse they go through. They just start. Just the metal and everything, all the bushings and bearings start to get loose on it. So, you know, then it's time to put it on the market and get rid of it.
Well, that's it. The lads have had an eventful week or 2 weeks. That's just before you're going now. That's it, isn't it? End of what? A fortnight? Is it 2 weeks you've been in?
Yeah, basically
2 weeks.
Yeah.
What? Let me ask you then. What's been the best bit of it, Joe?
I would say the sauna.
The sauna.
I'm just kidding. I'm just
kidding. Don't want to hear about the sauna.
Actually, the people's been the best. The warm welcome.
Everybody's been great.
Everybody's
been really great.
More than the riding, everything's the people.
Yeah. What about you, Kevin?
I'd say the same. Everybody's been nice, treated well. All the stuff we're doing, coming out here, these guys riding
coffee
their
cup.
rides. I'd say about the best nice thing was CCM. We were going down the highway for no reason at all. They pulled up next to us and throw coffee at us. So today they found out it was us, and I guess road rage. So today they came out and they said they'd let us ride their bikes. Joe got them back, wrecked one, and we're even, I guess.
Yeah, the go-karting you liked, didn't you?
Go-karting's crazy. We're gonna go buy. Oh, we're gonna go buy them. And
FTP4 is going to be nothing but us on go-karts.
go-karts down the interstates
on the highway.
We won't share the riding with Simon on the motorcycle, but we'll take the go-karts to London.
Right.
We'll drive.
Right, I'll drive this one.
Right. Well, have a very safe journey back, and
Thank you.
I hope you have good luck explaining the damage to this hire vehicle. Whose name is it in?
Starboys.
Is it? Oh, right.
Oh, imagine that.
Still walking from that
Right,
one.
Joe,
Thank you so much.
great,
Appreciate it.
great fun. Enjoy your trip back.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
See you
Thank
some
you,
more.
guys.
Thank you.
Time for a break now, but still to come on this week's show. Chris meets up with fellow journalist Daryll Young for yet more opinions on the current scooter scene. And we have the conclusion to day 3 of our tour of the Moroccan desert.
Daryll, you've heard me give my 2 pence on what I think about these scooters. Are you in line with my thoughts or not?
Well, you've been riding bikes for many years now, and it's obvious that you've only just jumped onto scooters recently. So maybe you need to do a few more miles on them, and I think we can convert you.
Do you feel as though I was a bit critical with the speed of some of these scooters?
Well, unfortunately, the laws in this country dictate that all 50cc scooters have to be restricted to 30 miles an hour. It's something we have to put up with, but if you're a 16-year-old, that's what you're limited to. So.
But do you share my views on that perhaps being more dangerous than the restriction?
On a personal level, yes, definitely. I think they're too heavily restricted. 30 miles an hour is too slow. Nobody sticks to 30 miles an hour, or very few people do. If you try and keep up with town traffic and you're doing 30 miles an hour, you're just going to get hounded all the time.
You've ridden the 4 bikes that we tested here this morning. What's your view of them?
Oh, let's go and take a look, shall we?
Right, the ET2. Tell me what you think of
The
this one.
Vespa ET2, 2-stroke single-cylinder engine. Obviously, it is restricted to 30 miles an hour. It can be de-restricted.
Is that easy to do?
If your licence allows it, about £50, 45, £50. Very stylish, this one. Steel panels, steel bodywork. Really retains all of those old Vespa looks, from the original Vespas way back.
It's got a real identity, this one, hasn't it?
Yeah, classic sort of style. And as you mentioned earlier, nicely finished off, some up-to-date equipment on it as well. So all in all, a good little commuter, but really, even unrestricted, it's still confined to the inner cities.
Sure. Okay, let's have a look at the Gilera Poggiali Rep. Good looking one, this one.
Oh, it is, yeah. This one's great. Obviously, this is a limited edition model to celebrate Manuel Poggiali's World Championship 125 title.
Now, it's not quite as fast as Manuel's, is it?
Not quite, no.
Did it frustrate you as much as it frustrated me today?
Restricted 50s do, definitely. But again, like the ET2, it can be easily de-restricted, and there's a lot of tuning goodies available for these. So if you've got the licence for them, then you can really go to town on these, and you can get some serious speeds out of them.
I very much like the handling. It was like a toy to ride.
Yeah, suspension's very good on it. It's not too heavy. It's very agile. It's very flickable, and so with a little bit more performance, a great little scooter.
Okay, let's have a look at the Piaggio B125.
The B125, yeah.
Now, I raved about this bike's handling and the fact that it felt so close in feel to a normal motorcycle. Would you agree?
Very much so, yeah. Thanks to the 16-inch wheels, it does feel like a bike to ride. I tested this one when they launched it last year at Millbrook Proving Ground. So we really had an opportunity to throw it around the Titan Twisties, and it was fantastic. Yeah, really handled very, very well. Lots of confidence, particularly in the wet as well. With the small wheel scooters, you tend to find them a little bit vague, and the front, front wants to wash it. With this, much more stable. And anybody that's a little bit frightened of the smaller wheels will just get on with this fine.
And now on to your favourite.
Yeah, the Runner.
Tell me again why you rate this one so highly.
It's the sports bike amongst them, you know. I've ridden sports bikes all my life, absolutely love them to bits, and this is the nearest really. I mean, this is what the Runner 200 is aimed at. It's aimed at the GSX-R 1000 owner, R1 owner that wants to get backwards and forwards to work, doesn't want to use an expensive sports bike to do so, and you know, for just over £2.5 grand, it's a great scooter for doing it. You can have a load of fun on it. Wheelies like mad.
I'm sorry, sir. What's a wheelie?
It handles very, very well. You can do lots of things with it. You know, it's just great fun to ride.
Do you think it offers the best value for money of these four?
If you've
Given
got
its performance.
Yeah, if you've got a full license, then really, you know, ultimately everybody wants performance. And if you've got a full license, then really you've got to be looking at this one. You know, when you consider the difference in price between, you know, this and the 125, I'd certainly shell out the extra few £100 for a Runner 200. But not everybody has got a full licence.
Daryll, thanks very much indeed for your assistance with the test and your expert views. You've given me a good idea of what to look for in the future.
Good.
Welcome back to our Moroccan desert tour as we rejoin the riders still on day 3 as they prepare to ride up the biggest sand dune that Morocco has to offer.
In the dunes, we have one leader, okay? Not everybody going everywhere doing their own thing. Find your own line, no problem, but remember who the leader is. You have got to avoid using energy. It's getting hotter and hotter now outside. The dunes are getting more and more difficult to ride. On the big dunes, what I do is I go up and I park on the actual crest, so you guys know where the crest is. Okay, it must be about 12 o'clock midday now. There's no contrast. It's very difficult to see the top of the dune. It's very easy to fly off the top. Okay.
Oh, it's lovely.
Well, quite hard ones and a good exercise.
Marvelous. It's really great. It's great fun.
That was brilliant. It's actually brilliant. I'm still shaking.
It's the best I have done with the trousers on for years.
We'll make our way up to the highest dune, play around in the dunes there a bit, then come back down to the auberge, which is a small sort of Moroccan hotel for lunch. And then from there, it's about 80 k's to a place called Usina Rimal.
After a punishing time in some of these mountainous sand dunes, it was no surprise really that bits started to fall off some of the machines. But of course, Sue and the support truck were there on hand with tools and bits and pieces to get things back on the road once again. It's pretty obvious that there are no street lamps and there are no cat's eyes on these dusty desert tracks, but that doesn't stop our riders going out for a thrash in the evening.
There's a traditional Berber tent set up, they're called Khaimas. And we go there, have a few cokes, wait till about 5 in the evening, because by that time the sand in the dunes has cooled down, they're a lot easier to ride. danger. If you come up the shallow side, you can easily drive off the steep side and hurt yourself. Whereas if you're coming up the steep side, you can pop out the top and you'll always land on the flat. So it's fantastic. We'll play around those dunes for a couple of hours, sleep in the tent that night, which is a fantastic experience because there's no light pollution, millions of stars. It's probably everybody's favourite night actually in the tent.
Hello, hello. I'm doing fine. I'm a bit afraid of heights though. Just get shit out of me. About 120 meters this year. That is my best day of the life.
Well, that's all from Two Wheels for this week, but on next week's show we'll meet wannabe lady biker Lynn Rogers. Lynn goes through her CBT and of course goes shopping for her first biking outfit. And we'll find out what gadgets and gizmos Jeff keeps in the bottom of his tank bag. And of course we'll be catching up with the riders on day 4 of their Moroccan desert tour.